Bonjour mes amis, hi guys, a bit late to the party. I would like to review today the Atelier Wen Perception Piao, this one with a mystic blue dial. You can see here in the camera looking really beautiful, and I like the way it changes perception. Well, when you get it away from you, a lot of clarity, a lot of beauty in this dial, which is the highlight, the focus point of this Atelier Wen, founded by two French guys who decided to go to China to have watches made and put forward some of the craftsmanship done over there. And as I said, I think in the coming 10 years, there will be amazing watches made in China. I think quite often the marketing is a bit wrong, not clear enough from the current Chinese brands. And the model line is not well defined. No such problem with the Atelier Wen. They have reached out to many YouTubers, influencers, publications. They have collaborated with the Revolution magazine for a special edition. And yeah, there are all sorts of videos on YouTube. The latest one, which gave me a bit of a chuckle, was from Theo and Harris. I think going a bit overboard with the romanticism of the timepiece, but you will decide for yourself. This one here is a prototype. Actually, it was in the hand of Tim Mosso of the 1916 company himself. So there you go on the wrist, 17 centimeter wrist. It wears really well at its widest. It's 41 millimeters. It is in 904L steel, just like Rolex, so a bit brighter and maybe better resistant to corrosion. 100 meters of water resistance, screwed down crown. I can show you that. Let it pop. You can wind it if it stopped, and there is no hacking. So be mindful of that. Lovely, fairly large leaf hands filled with a super luminova. And so integrated bracelet, steel sports, obviously a market segment that's very popular, very played out as well. And a guilloche dial, which is quite bizarrely, one could say, extremely popular. As you know, I own Garrick. It's a UK watchmaker who wanted a few years ago to bring back handmade watches, dials, and finishing traditions. Took them years to be successful. And their dials take several days to complete, including the chaptering. The one we have here done by apparently the single master craftsman of this art of engine turning dial done on a rose lathe engine. It takes 8 hours per dial, so it will limit production and factor in quite heavily into the price, which is $3,288 US for a watch which is well made, but perhaps without such a dial would cost I would say under $1,000 US. So it will be up to you to decide how important this dial, which typically you would see on a more dressier timepiece, is important to you. So let's zoom in. Let's zoom in on it. You can see the quality. It doesn't have the depth of the Garrick dial that I have, but the intersection of the straight and circular grain is quite beautiful, quite mesmerizing. And I actually like the name of the brand, Atelier Wen, and the logo is nice. The chaptering, which is slightly raised and as you can see, cuts the indices, which is very nice. I think a bit of flourish, is loomed, and yeah, it has a bit of a Chinese decoration pattern, and it's actually absolutely functional because it delineates the minutes between each 5 minutes. So very smartly done, and it's to me one of the highlights of this design. You can see plenty of loom on the hands. And this chaptering is also loomed. making it even more attractive and functional. So yeah, this dial, and the minute hand reaches the track. Seconds hand is also appropriately long. To me, this is really the highlight. But there's also beautiful craft at the back of the watch with a hammered lion, the likes you would see at the entrance of a Chinese temple. And as you can see, the blackened rotor will shut at this mouth. It is decorated. And you get a peek, otherwise, of the at the movement by Peacock. As you know, Peacock is a very famous caliber maker in China, and you will hear a lot more about Peacock, not just for their calibers, but also for watches. There are grand plans in China. This caliber has over 40 hours of power reserve, regulated between -10 and +10 at the factory, and then adjusted to 5 positions by Atelier Wen. And it is not just marketing. I've tested it on the time grapher. High amplitude, around 300, very low beat error, sometimes 0 in some positions. And overall, I had some positions at 0, +1, +5. The worst was +7, so really well adjusted, at least for this prototype. And I like that you can touch a bit you can feel the watch, and it's something interesting visually on an otherwise a bit more industrial type of movement, and it performs really well. That's the second highlight of this watch. What I also like a lot is how comfortable, flexible, smooth, well finished the bracelet is. The finishings on the case and bracelet, you have brushing, vertical, horizontal, a nice beveled, polished line, but really super smooth. And I have very hairy wrist, and it just doesn't catch the wrist at all. A lot less, I can tell you that, than say a 90s bracelet by Audemars Piguet, for example. Obviously, the Royal Oak, the originator with General Genta of this genre of watches, and the one here plays a bit more towards the lines of the Nautilus with this winglet, which romantically on the website is referred to as being inspired by a pagoda, whatever floats your boat. While the little original kink here, the 12 and 6, is inspired by apparently Chinese houses. I've seen this type of winglet on Seiko 5s 20 years ago. Just like I've seen this bracelet design from the Vacheron 222, which I reviewed on the channel on the side. The way the case angles down is really good to have a tight fit on the wrist. And I've seen that from the Maurice Lacroix Icon, which cost around $2,300, so a full $1,000 less than this watch, and feels a lot better well made. It's really a tank, the Maurice Lacroix Icon, much stronger feeling than even a Royal Oak. If you want a point of comparison from a video that I've done on my channel 6 years ago. But back to the bracelet and the clasp. The clasp has a great feature to keep the deployment short, which is often a problem with many watches. There is a smart slider here, so it's easy to put on the watch, but you keep the clasp and the underside very short, very smart, double deployant, and you have an extension pusher just like you see on longer and IWC watches. You get a lot, and it's really well machine crafted for the adjustability, the comfort. I really recommend this watch. You won't be disappointed. When you put it back on, you have to push it back in if it had slide out, and there you go, you have a great fit. I think that the size of the clasp is nice, and you have that button with the logo, very well made. That is a highlight of craftsmanship, I would say, of what you can get made in China these days. Is really impressive. If you remember on the channel, I reviewed also Zentier, similar type of construction, similar type of watch. You really get something comfortable. As I said, I don't think it's to the level of the Maurice Lacroix Icon, for example, but probably better than the PRX of Tissot, or somewhat similar. But yeah, when it comes to the originality, I think if you want to watch, that's a bit of a best of what the Swiss have done, mix of the Nautilus and the Vacheron 222. Well, that's about it. And then if your heart really begs for craftsmanship on the dial, a beautiful dial, when then this will be just for you. And the dial, yeah, there's a bit of an imbalance between the price of the watch, the watch itself, and then just the dial. A dial like this costs a lot. It can cost really a really beautiful handcrafted dial, engine turn dial. It can cost upwards of 3,000 euros. CNC is more like 1,000. So you get, something very valuable on this watch. Is it at home on a sports watch? Up to you. Now, what else can I tell you about this timepiece? That's a bit all my first impressions. Yes, it does come with also a very nice rubber band. And since I mentioned Maurice Lacroix, they also copied from that brand the system of double sort of screws that you grab together to easily remove on the fly. It can damage a bit your your nails on the easy removal system to remove the bracelet and switch to this rubber strap. But unfortunately, I didn't get the original box with the booklet and the adjustment screwdriver. It came with a more simple box. Maybe Tim Mosso kept the rest. And I didn't get the little spring bars for this, so I can't really show you. Oh, I didn't notice this. Paris, Beijing, French. Meet the Chinese, and you will see more of that. So yeah, a bit to conclude. I don't think very original to come with a guilloche and a steel sports integrated, but the two together, that is original, I suppose. And the price point quite high because of the the handcraft included into this watch. So it's down to you. Would I buy it? I think at this point, no, because I own this type of dial on a dressier timepiece with my Garrick, and already 6 years ago I owned this type of watch with my Maurice Lacroix, and then I had the PRX. But 5-6 years ago, this would have been a strong contender. I will say this though, I'm not ranking this type of complicated dials that high in my choice of timepieces, but that's really everyone up to them to decide what is important. For me, I love the craftsmanship. I love looking at it, but wearing this type of dial is not necessarily what turns me on the most, what I rank the highest. But there you go. I mean, the result on the wrist is quite obviously fairly stunning. If I was to redesign this watch, maybe I would want something a bit more original on the case, a bit more tension in the lines. But there you go. This is my review of the Atelier Wen Perception. And the one thing that I think is great about this brand is that they make a great connection between what is currently being done in China, and I think that there are a lot more that will be done, and the Western world, because their marketing is really well done. The way they reach out to the community is spot on. And that is why you have already probably heard about this brand. But there you go. I wanted to give it my own take about it. It's a very interesting timepiece. In any case, signing off. Bye bye, guys.